Hey there, Brian Wright, founder, CEO of New Patient Group and WrightChat, and the host of The Brian Wright Show. Hope you're doing great. If you are coming from our other YouTube station, New Patient Group YouTube station that has been around for many years, if you saw that video and left there to come here, you are in the right place, all right? This is our new station. It is a new economy that I'm about to talk about, and you are come to the right place for brand new content and new strategies that we are launching to help all of you out. If you're somebody that may be shopping around, maybe just came across our YouTube station for the first time, hey there, welcome into our family. And allow me to introduce myself and go through what we call the success blueprint of the new economy. I'm going to talk to you about a lot of consumer data, why we exist, what we believe, right? What we do, as well as how we do it. And that's what we're going to dive into now. But like I said, before I start, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Brian Wright, the founder, CEO of New Patient Group and WrightChat. I'm the host of the Brian Wright Show podcast. We spent 8 seasons as the New Patient Group podcast, so that's recently been rebranded. So in the description below will also be a link to subscribe to that show, as well as the Brian Wright YouTube station. I am a faculty and consultant and speaker for Align Technology, the makers of Invisalign. I've been featured in Dental Economics Ask the Experts section. I've had 22 companies as it stands today, and I've been featured in those companies in Forbes, CNBC, and the National Journal. Speak all over the world as a motivational speaker, business, and life coach. I also speak for OrthoFi and other companies in and outside of the orthodontic dental space. If you're a book reader, Level the Curve is a fantastic one written by our customer and very good friend of mine, Dr. Jamie Reynolds. And in that, he says, I am the best in the business. This is something I am passionate about, and people hire me all over the world to talk to their organizations, their practices about leadership, to create exceptional cultures, just like the famous companies do. Hospitality, as well as customer service and customer experience. Those are 3 very different things that people, unfortunately, all think are the same, and that really holds a lot of businesses back. Sales, right? Sales through education. That's all sales is how to be a great educator in an ethical manner and how to put things in perspective on what creates more value, why I should buy from you, why I should refer to you, why I should be compliant, right? There's a lot of in-depth stuff we teach around sales, and one of those is in-depth of consumer psychology. All right. Without knowing psychology, it is very hard, if not impossible, to be great at any type of customer experience. Psychology we talk about means knowing what to say, when to say, how to say, and why to say it. And when you do, you're able to reframe. More on that here in just a second with the framing effect. You're able to reframe things that people don't see enough value in today in order to place more value and charge a higher price. Advanced communication, presentation, and verbiage skills. And we have done that, and I teach those skill sets to our niche inside orthodontics, dentistry, other healthcare practices owned by doctors that have their own business. We teach those skill sets to the doctors, the office managers, clinical assistants, receptionists, treatment coordinators, hygienists, other people, techs and plastic surgery, and many other positions throughout the healthcare environment. And it's amazing what happens when each position is taught the skill sets and more. It goes beyond what you just see on paper, what I'm talking about. It's amazing what happens to their skill sets whenever they apply those to the interactions they have with the customer. We talk about something and we use all of what I just talked about for the success blueprint of the new economy. And the new economy is real. Make no mistake about it. There's some interesting data right now as I do this video today that in dentistry, the conversion has dipped all the way down to 32%, according to Dental Economics. Several studies now show that conversion in orthodontics has dipped into the 40s, some of the lowest it's ever been. And then conversion in other specialties, that is pedo and perio in the dental space, right? But it's also plastic surgery and other things outside of the dental ortho space. And it's dipped to the lowest conversion at any other point in history. So the question is why? And there's a lot of things that people say. Could be the economy, could be price shoppers, could be competition, all of that. But I'm here to tell you something very different because our customers are dominating this economy while other people are suffering, and they're doing it without spending a nickel on pay-per-click advertising and other outside your door advertising that you simply do not need, but have been unfortunately convinced that you do. I'm sure you're familiar with Albert Einstein, obviously a scientist, a great inventor of his time, but he was also a university professor, and he had an assistant that saw him year after year giving the same test questions to the sophomores that then, they turn juniors, but then the new sophomore class comes in, and he gives the same test questions to them, and then they become juniors, and he just does this over and over. And the assistant finally said, Albert, I know you're a smart guy. You're certainly smarter than me, but don't you realize that that you're giving the same test questions out year after year? Aren't you afraid that people are going to be giving those test questions to the next class and they're just going to cheat? And Albert goes, yeah, I hope they do, because the reality of the situation is that every year the answers change. Science is always evolving. And guess what, guys? Your practice, your business, your life, your career, employees watching are always evolving. And the questions every year that we ask ourselves: how do we build wealth? Right? How do we become healthier? Employees, how do I get a promotion and get higher pay? Business owners, how do I create the right leadership? How do I be an exceptional leader to create the right culture? Right? How do I grow revenue, production, collections? How do we increase our conversion, our sales, get more same day starts, same day cash? How do we get more new customers, new patients? How do we get our patients to be compliant, right, when they're in treatment? How do we get them to refer, do video testimonials, that kind of thing? The reality is, in this new economy, the answers are all different to the same questions that you keep asking. And that is the reason the numbers are getting crushed throughout the healthcare space, is that every year we ask these questions, and every year you watch people on stage give the same answers that have become outdated. You must do things different. I'm going to show you some reasons why you must do things, and these are the reasons we exist. We are all about the success blueprint, and we do everything to enhance employee and patient experiences around it. Let's look at some consumer attention studies, right? And what is an attention study? Is it explores how individuals focus their mental resources, particularly in the context of decision making. All right, let's look at some of those. According to Forbes, the average consumer sees more than 10,000 marketing messages on any given day. And as we go through this, what I need your brain to be doing is, oh my gosh, like, us taking analog based photos and using those in the exam, that can't work. Us doing things that look outdated, the way we speak, the way we interact, it all must change. According to Microsoft, we're dumber than a goldfish. Kind of an embarrassing stat. The average consumer attention span has dropped to 8 seconds. That is now 1 second less than a goldfish. And this is a decrease from 12 back in the year 2000. All right. We are getting dumber by the day. You look at Gen Z, they lose active attention span for ads in just 1.3 seconds, right? You look at active attention span, that is how long a person can maintain focus on a given task or activity. This is why the hour consult in orthodontics is dead. Does not work if you want to maximize your success anymore. The stats I'm showing you prove it, all right? You've got to remove the bias. You've got to say, look, regardless of how I feel about something, we're going to look at this data and use it to our advantage. Our customers use everything you see on these screens and what I'm talking to their unique advantage to dominate in this economy with the same conditions other people are blaming. Down economy, again, price shoppers, competition, blah, blah, hard to find good people to work for me, all those things. We're using all of that to teach you how to grow like a weed. Time pressure. This is one that I'm very passionate about. Studies show that consumers under time pressure are less attentive, highlighting the importance of creating engaging experiences in shorter, separate intervals. What is time pressure? Well, it's a form of psychological stress that can impact cognitive function and decision making. It refers to the stress and emotions that arise from feeling rushed, overloaded with information, or having insufficient time to complete a task or make decisions. You're looking at this and you hopefully are going, wow, the things I've done to be successful today are not what's going to take to be successful tomorrow. The things I've done in the past, maybe those are the reasons I'm not succeeding, right? Time pressure, again, as studies show, just like I was saying, in shorter separate intervals. All right, let's move on from that because we've already talked about it. Now, consumer video studies. I want you to pay attention to this. What is it? It explores how consumers interact with and are influenced by video content. It examines how video impacts consumer attitudes, purchasing decisions, and brand perceptions. High video demand. Consumers increasingly prefer video content and want brands to use it more for communication. 83% of all ages. This is not just a Gen Z, a younger person thing. 83%, according to that source, of all ages say they want brands to communicate more via video. Now, 90% of Gen Z, according to Business Wire, said that, all right? Question is are you communicating via video, or are you making outdated new patient confirmation calls and all the stuff, right, from the 1980s? Think of all the ways you could turn those into video. Video personalization. People want their videos personalized. It doesn't have to be some grand production. Right? Personalized video is more likely to drive customer loyalty and engagement than generic pre-recorded videos, period. Right? 1 minute, according to eMarketer, 1 minute of video is equivalent to 1.8 million words. So why are you, when they show up to your start appointment, Why are you having your assistant say, this is how you put on the aligners? This is how you take them off. This is the do's. This is the don'ts. Why don't you turn all that into a video, put it on your YouTube station, shorten your start appointment by 10 or 15 minutes, right? These are the kind of things we teach. The consumer loves it. Your practice becomes more efficient, profitable, grows like a weed, right? And then the clinical assistants have to be trained under our training how to look at their job differently, more as a coach than a repeat yourself when people aren't listening. The data is showing you, it's telling you people aren't listening to what you're saying. Now, one of the reasons why it's so powerful, according to eMarketer, the study continues, is people retain 95% of a video's message compared to only 10% in written text, audio, verbal format. We've got to change things to video. We've got to look at video marketing, not just how we can attract new customers, which we do via digital marketing, but we also use our digital marketing and our internal coaching program to set videos up to target people that have scheduled with you, target people that have bought from you, reshape the whole appointment process, reshape how the practice has always looked, and it is beautiful. According to Google, YouTube is now the second largest search engine in the world to Google, and it's coming up on Google's behind. It's eventually going to take them. It's going to take over. 51% of Gen Z women find information on via video search on TikTok, which is a big part of our digital marketing program. If you're not on there and on there right, you're missing out on over half a generation of women. Now, let's look at consumer experience studies, which really, if you reform and transform and reimagine the practice, all of this is experience stuff, because if we use video in a different way, it's going to enhance the experience. If we speak and showcase our things in a different way, it's gonna capture attention when we otherwise lose it. So let's look at consumer experience studies. This explores how individuals buy and refer to companies that offer superior experiences. This is why a not so good clinician, if they're doing what I'm talking about, will dominate the great clinician that doesn't do what I'm talking about. Now, to become famous, you have to be a great chef and do the things I'm talking about, right? Using the restaurant analogy, you've got to be a great clinician, a great chef, and your non-food, your non-clinical experiences have to be exceptional. According to Data AI, over 85% of people value convenience over other factors and are willing to pay higher prices for it. Meanwhile, most practices are the opposite of convenience, right? There are so many things we implement into practices to capture this stat, capture attention span, use of video, reshaping of the schedule, all kinds of things to capture this stat. The consumers, the patients love it. 91% of people surveyed said they would choose and remain with a business because of the experience. This, again, experience trumps product. Doesn't mean that you should be a bad clinician. No, you should strive to be the best because that's part of the experience. But this again shows that a great culture through exceptional leadership, people trained the proper way through sales and all the things I was talking about, and how they interact with a customer because they have those skill sets, that will determine your success. According to Zendesk, and this is a very important definition, one of the founding principles of New Patient Group, and that we're going to be talking about here momentarily, I'm going to show you a visual, is customer experience is the totality of cognitive, affective, sensory, and behavioral responses of a customer during all stages of the consumption process. Therefore, it refers to every touch point a consumer has with your business. This includes before they buy and after they buy, right? So what does that look like? Well, it looks like this. Right now, a restaurant would have it, any business would have their journey, but this breaks down a orthodontic practice. Maybe a dental practice has obviously the exam. You have to include hygiene there and things like that. But for just example purposes, you get the point. What you're looking at here is every piece of the journey prior to purchase, right? How do we get them to sign that contract at the highest level, right? And it starts with being a great leader. Because if you don't have the right mindset, the right culture, none of the ideas along this journey will ever get implemented in a way that will make a true difference. But if you're able to look at every single touch point along this journey and apply what we talked about, our expertise here with New Patient Group, and apply that, then amazing things happen. Now, with our other company, WrightChat, they handle the new patient call for you. We can answer it as your employee using the training that we provide. Speak as your employee, like I said, log into your software and schedule that person, allowing you to transform your front desk into a full concierge model, right? So that's what WrightChat does, as well as handling your pending treatment. What New Patient Group does is enhance all of these things, all right? And we use sales, hospitality training, experience training, all the things, communication, verbiage, presentation, psychology. And as we teach each person how to use those skill sets, They are able to enhance this journey. We can refine this journey, reimagine this journey, unlike any people business they've ever seen. So you become great. But then the journey continues, right? Just like the customer experience definition said, these are the reasons we exist. We don't exist for one part of your practice, your business. We exist to bring all of the pre-purchase and all of the post-purchase touch points together into a beautiful story to showcase your business in a unique way that nobody else will come close to. Because after purchase, right, your clinical assistants are very much in a sales and hospitality role, right? You need to view it that way. Anytime they have a conversation chairside or with mom, that is not a clinical skill set. That's a communication and presentation skill set. How people are greeted at the arrival appointment, how do we use videos to enhance the experience at these appointments, reduce the appointment times? How do we create fans, right? Satisfied patients are one that you give a great clinical result to and they're happy about that, right? But that does not create a fan. No different than great food does not create a fan. What creates fans in a restaurant is great food combined with an unbelievable ambiance, waiter experience, manager shaking the hand at the table, chef coming out, asking how the food was, how the phone call went. Was it easy to make a reservation? Those kind of things, no different for your practice. And it's why we focus on those things just in the equivalent of your practice, not that restaurant, right? And fans could be, they are compliant. You wonder why you have a compliance problem? It's because you're not turning people into fans. Fans are compliant. They refer, they write video testimonials, they do video testimonials. They go out in the public and wear your shirt and cheer rah rah whenever you win. Right? Those are fans, and that's what we do here is turn people into fans of your business. Now, with those skill sets and with all of all the data that I read you, what that all means is we have to frame things differently. And what the framing effect is a cognitive bias where people decide on options based on how they're presented. Remember, people are calling upwards of 5 practices and scheduling at least 3 now in the industry. They're going into at least 3 from an opinion standpoint. So we can't be the same in any form or fashion, no matter what touch point. Everything has to be unique. And you do that through coaching and training and how you do your digital marketing and how you create an exceptional culture. That's what the famous companies do. We bring the famous company recipe into our niche inside your practice, right? So how do we get people to draw different conclusions based on what they perceive, even though it's not, but what they perceive is the exact same information? And that's what we do here in order to place more value on what it is. And what is value? Simply the price a person is willing to spend on a given thing, product, or service, right? If you have a plate of spaghetti and today you charge $15 and you want to charge $30 for that same plate of spaghetti, it means that you must redefine the journey. You must train the waiters how to speak differently, maybe even use different ingredients. Well, that process and those skill sets is no different inside a restaurant at a table to get them to spend more than it is inside orthodontics, dentistry, etc. That you have got to reframe things in order to get people to say yes to you and at a higher dollar. So how do we do all that? Well, we do it through first coaching and consulting. All right. Now, included in our coaching consulting is our doctor mastermind group. A lot of cool things that come with that. We also do live boot camp intensive. This is cool because this is where we always have 1 or 2 going at one time. That's on our website. You can register for it and join just to test it out. It's cool because we bring our customers together. So now you may have a bunch of receptionists. Let's say we're doing something around the new patient call and why you have to change it in this new economy. It can't be how it used to be. Right? So these live boot camp intensives are great because now employees are role playing together, right? Just like going to the gym and working out with 5 people, right? But the employees are holding each other accountable. They're learning from one another. They're role playing together. They're coming back in 2 weeks from now and they're getting better at it. And they're watching people that have been with us 10 years, as well as a practice that joined yesterday. You get this collective group and it's really amazing. We do live boot camp intensives for all positions in your office as it relates to what they do with the consumer. On-demand courses. We have fantastic on-demand courses, and they're a combination of ones from our studio, as well as ones we do a little bit more FaceTime, into the Mac computer as an example, a little bit more personal, if you will. The on-demand courses cover hundreds upon hundreds of hours, and we are always updating them, always creating new ones, and you are getting it fed into our virtual platform that you get access to. Our MPG Iconic events, these are unlike any event ever created in orthodontics and beyond. I want you to think Tony Robbins, Shark Tank. This is teaching you how to be a famous entrepreneur and how you can relate that back to running your practice. No event is anything like the Iconic events. We have people tell us every time they leave that they will never attend another air quotes big name event in the orthodontic and beyond space again. They're just coming to the Iconic events. As it stands today, we do 2 a year. We do a full team one every other year, and we do job specific 2 a year. So it's always 2 a year, and they are fantastic. Private on-site and online sessions, so you can have us to your practice. We can do personalized Zoom sessions together. And that's how we go about our coaching and consulting. Our goal is to be in front of your practice as much as we possibly can, because that's what coaches do. They hold you accountable, they motivate, they inspire, they role play, they practice, they give feedback. We want to do that together as much as possible. Right. The second thing we do here and go about it on how we get these things implemented in your practice is digital marketing. And that comes with a fully customized website design and SEO. Our websites are beautiful. They're coded from scratch. There's a lot of crap out there. We do it right. Our people, when we get customers aboard, they do not leave. You have your own personal team. They meet with you every single month. You can choose to have professional photography. We come to your practice, make the websites absolutely beautiful. We have a first page rank guarantee or your money back on the search engine optimization side. We do social media marketing and management, meet with your practice every month. You get marketing calendars. It is all 100% customized. We do not post anything that is template fashion. We do not represent businesses that way. We do not function that way. Your business deserves the best. We've designed this to be a part of your team, guidance, things like that. We coach you through it. YouTube video marketing, for all the reasons you heard me talk about in the video stats, we're big on YouTube video marketing, as well as much more on the digital marketing side. Or you have a third choice, and it's why I created this company, is doing a combination of both, right? When you have a combination of both, what you do is now you're looking at the journey, right? You're using digital marketing and you're using coaching to convert it at the highest levels, right? You're doing all of that stuff, leadership training, all the things under one roof we can help, as well as that journey when people buy. Now, what do? We've talked about why we exist, the new economy, how we go about things. Now, what do? Well, simply put, we are installing 5-star hotel and Michelin star restaurant experiences into healthcare practices, orthodontics, et cetera, their businesses, to create a winning culture, increase your new patients, customers, sales, and revenue while reducing stress and advertising costs. If you look at 5-star hotels, which I've personally worked with, if you look at Michelin star restaurants, which I've personally worked with, if you look at their recipe of domination, it is constant coaching their team, constant inside their doors focus, as well as creating fabulous organic digital marketing content. It is not advertising outside their doors. It is not pay-per-click. It's none of that stuff. It's all inside the doors. No matter how many times you tell people that, 99% of people still think they need advertising and pay-per-click. You don't. Stop it with that stuff. Take the famous recipe that we have, let us install it into your practice. Now, like I said, we use the skill sets that we have around marketing, leadership, hospitality, sales, psychology, communication, presentation, verbiage, and beyond, right? To teach all of the positions in your office how to interact in a very unique way with people that you want to buy or that have bought, to where we're turning them into fans. All right. And then look, when you receive what you want from your prospective and existing customers, meanwhile, you delivered more than they expected, that is the definition of customer service and is what we specialize in here. All right. The reality of the situation is that we are the recipe for this new economy. We've got everything under one roof to transform your practice. We are creating everything we do to be the success blueprint of the new economy, and this new economy demands exceptional experiences for your employees and your patients, customers, and that is what we deliver. Hope you enjoyed this. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube station. Check out the Brian Wright Show podcast, where you'll learn great stuff from me on there on how to take wonderful ideas back into your practice. And we look forward to welcoming you into our new patient group and or WrightChat family. I'm going to put a link down below as well in the description of this video on how to schedule a free consult with us, and hope to see you there soon. Take care. Bye-bye.